Good evening, hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Anusha Soni. Well, just when we thought that the grand old party might be able to get a trusted non-Gandhi leader as the president of the party, a huge revolt within the Rajasthan Congress has once again shown what exactly is wrong with the Congress party. Well, this has led to a standoff between the Congress leadership and the Gehlot loyalists. The party high command had also sought a report from its party observers, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge and Ajay Makar. As the crisis erupted over the Rajasthan Chief Minister post, Ashok Gehlot seems to be inching out or not. That's the key question. Perhaps time will only tell us. The trouble within the party, though, is not new. We have seen revolts in the state of Uttarakhand, Goa, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh earlier. But what makes this trouble far worse than the other ones is that it overshadows the impending elections for the post of the Congress president. This also once again highlights the leadership crisis within the party, which is far from being resolved. Our focus this evening.
बड़ा मामला नहीं। इस्तीफा कांग्रेस के विधायकों ने अध्यक्ष को सौंपा है। किसी भी कीमत पर 19 में से किसी एक को मानने के लिए तैयार नहीं है।
खुद कांग्रेस पार्टी अपनी चतुराई के चक्रव्यूह में बुरी तरह से फंस गई।
Well, before I bring in my colleague Pallavi and our other guests into the discussion, here are some key things that we must know about this crisis of the Congress party. What is it about the Congress party that has led to this persistent trouble of leadership? Well, beyond the spate of electoral losses, the party from within is shaken. We have seen the exodus which has been happening within the party. From the young to the old guard, there have been people who have been unceremoniously exiting the party. Party titans are unwilling to don the crown of thorns. They know that perhaps the real power will not lie with the non-Gandhi face. At least that is the apprehension. And the likes of Ashok Gehlot are very, very scared to let go of their political future or the grip, for example, that he has over the state of Rajasthan. The central leadership looks diminished, clueless, ineffective. Not the first time that analysts and experts would say that there's so much more that the leadership could have done. Gandhis no longer hold the kind of authority and power that they had at one point in the history. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, of course, is the longest-serving Congress president. Briefly, there was Rahul Gandhi, and right now she's the Congress working president. Talking about the image of Mr. Ashok Gehlot, his image also changes in many ways. I mean, he was perceived as a Gandhi loyalist, to powerful, chief minister who's not ready to let go of the power within the state. The Ashok Gehlot versus Sachin Pilot tussle is an old one. It looked like it might be resolved, but it's not. There are also big flaws in intra-party communication strategy. Some experts would say, well, you could have predicted what is happening right now and be ready for it. But it looks like that the party high command was not ready to deal with the situation. As a result, not just the Congress president elections and the narrative around it has been overshadowed, there is mayhem in Rajasthan and shadow over the party elections as well. Will we be able to see a credible face, a strong face leading the party? Pallavi Ghosh, our senior editor, has been tracking all the developments from the grand old party. Pallavi, what should we believe? Is Ashok Gehlot in the race or he's out?
Well, that's a very tough one to answer, really, Anusha. Well, I think an attempt has been made to reach out to Mrs. Gandhi and the rest of the Congress party by Ashok Gehlot when he spoke to her a short while back. And he did say that, my intention was never to disrespect. And I'm completely unaware of what happened really and the steps which are taken by the MLAs. Now, for argument's sake, Anusha, if he decides to contest the elections, whether he's going to muster the support of those 9,000 delegates. See, one thing has become very, very clear in the last 2 days, that this whole idea which was being floated, that it's a neutral election, and the Gandhis are going to have a hands-off kind of an attitude. They're not going to favor or not favor anyone. That myth has been busted. It's very clear that they do want someone whom they can trust. and someone who, at the end of the day, the buck will stop actually at 10 Janpad, and all the unfavorable, kind of decisions would be taken by the new party president. Now, in that context, even if Ashok Gehlot is expected to file his nomination papers before the 30th, that's possibly on the 29th as well, can he really win? Or will there be some kind of a backroom game which is going to be orchestrated to ensure that Ashok Gehlot is defeated? What really serves this purpose, and there's a precedence of this in the Congress party, is also to show that he's not much of a magician as he's being made out to be. And second, it could diminish his clout within Rajasthan as well, which could possibly pave the way for having a chief minister, the choice of the Gandhi.
Pallavi, two aspects I want to talk about. First, of course, the impact it has on the Congress president elections. So much buzz around it. The Congress party said we'll have a non-Gandhi phase. Ashok Gehlot went and met Rahul Gandhi to make that one last-ditch attempt that please come and be the president of the Congress party. It looked like that the scene was set and perhaps Ashok Gehlot is going to be the next phase. That's not happening. This entire crisis, what kind of effect it has on the Congress president elections? And secondly, Ashok Gehlot versus Sachin Pilot. That has gone worse for the Congress party.
To answer your first question first, they certainly sent off a flurry of activity today on the second day of the Navratras. And we've just got 4 days more left to go before nomination closes at 3 p.m. on 30th. You had Bhavan Bansal, who goes and collects 2 nomination forms, though he says on record that he's not going to be contesting the election. So it'll be interesting to know who has he collected the form for. Are there other people who are now in the race? And Ambika Soni, Shinde, Digvijay Singh, Mukul Vaslik. Is there going to be someone other than, say, a Tharoor or an Ashok Gehlot? To answer your second question, can things ever be normal between Gehlot and Pilot? No. Because in Punjab also, when they replaced Captain Amrinder Singh in the hope that there would be peace, we never saw that peace and stability. There was infighting, bickering, and the result is for all of us to see where Aam Aadmi Party took advantage of that. In Rajasthan also, I'm quite sure it may have its toll on the electoral results.
All right, Pallavi, my last bit before I let you go, I want to ask that question again to you. When we reach that conclusion in the next 24 to 48 hours that whether Ashok Gehlot is in or out, what are the key factors to watch out for?
Well, the key factor to watch out for is that if he files his nomination papers, does he really win? And has Sonia Gandhi completely forgiven him? Because, she's also not known one to forget in a hurry, so that sense of hurt which she showed yesterday when she met the observers and told them that why did he have to do it? Is she likely to forget? And second is one, when your trust is shaken, can it be restored that easily? So it'll be interesting to watch if there are going to be others other than Tharoor as well as Ashok Gehlot. And if Ashok Gehlot indeed contests the election, does he manage to win or not?
Thank you, Pallavi. We'll keep all our eyes on those crucial developments within the grand old party. Opening that question, that big question for our guest as well. The rumblings within the Congress party, it's a big signal of the Gandhis losing the grip on the party. That's the key question we ask. And more importantly, the biggest opposition party in the country, what kind of state it is in really right now, and that leadership crisis really be resolved for the Congress party before the big 2024 battle in the country. Opening up that question to our guests who are joining us on the broadcast, we have Mr. Varun Singh, who's a political analyst, Niti Jain, who's a spokesperson of the BJP, Mr. Suman C. Raman, who's a political analyst, is also joining us on the broadcast. We also have Mr. Hemant Atri, who's a senior journalist who's with us on the show. Niti, let me ask you first, and I ask this to you as, this is your political opponents. Of course, it's their internal matter. I get that argument. But watching as a opponent and watching the Congress ranks and what happens within the opposition party is crucial for any political opponent. Do you think that the Congress party will be able to resolve this leadership crisis anytime soon?
Anusha, as an open opponent and as the citizen of this country, I think we've been watching this for a while. This is not new. This has been going on. We saw this in Punjab. We saw this in Rajasthan earlier. Karnataka is going through some factionism. We saw what happened in Maharashtra. So all of these things are new, not new. I don't know what would it take for the entire, I don't know if I should say the media or anybody who's still having any hope for this crisis to resolve, to understand that this is something that needs to be internalized by the party. You cannot go on a Bharat Jodo Yatra when your party is falling to pieces. Bharat is already Jodo. Bharat अच्छे से जुड़ा हुआ है. उसमें कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं थी. जहाँ करने की जरूरत थी, the party is failing there miserably. So as opponents or as the citizens of the country, the entire election process that they're trying to hold or trying to portray that they're holding, I don't think anybody has any sense of belief in whatever is happening. Their own party men go out and say that we want Rahul Gandhi to be the president. Rahul Gandhi is not interested. And whoever you put in that place, I don't know how much confidence would that person elicit in the party that is already broken.
No, point taken.
So that is
point
the
taken.
question that the
And
Congress
I
needs to
also want to say at the beginning of the broadcast that we wanted the Congress party, the official spokesperson of the Congress party, to be a part of this debate. However, as a party, they have chosen not to be part of such debates which are happening about the leadership crisis. We respect that decision, but as a media outlet, we try to reach out to them. Mr. Sumansi Raman, I'll come back to you. Would you agree with what Neeti is saying? Like, this problem cannot be resolved. We have seen it happen so many times at such a critical juncture. When the Congress president elections are pending, you have a crisis happening in Rajasthan. And when it happened last time, the Congress party had to work really hard to control. Otherwise, a repeat of Madhya Pradesh was all set to happen.
Look, I think that we need to give them a couple of days' time until 30th before the dust sort of clears up. Mr. Ashok Gehlot has overplayed his hand very clearly, and it remains to be seen whether he will actually be asked to contest. He is not keen on contesting. That he has made very clear.
But Mr. Sumansi Raman, why do you think that he's overplayed his hand? I mean,
he overplayed his hand. What happened day before yesterday was completely unacceptable. He knew very well that he would have to give up his chief minister's chair, and getting his supporter MLAs to behave in the manner they did and to sign a resignation letter and give it to the speaker was completely, it was a betrayal of the trust that the Gandhi family had placed in him. So I don't see it as a possibility. As Pallavi said, I don't agree with Pallavi on that Ashok Gehlot will contest and then may be defeated. He is not interested in contesting. So if at all he contests, he will contest only if he has the backing of the Gandhi family. But Mr. Raman,
if he was not interested in contesting, why would he go and meet Rahul Gandhi? Why would he make all those statements? Perhaps one of the possible conclusions is that he thought he could have both posts.
He did believe he could hold both posts, but it was made very clear to him that the one member, one post rule would apply to him as well. And therefore, once it became clear, what he should have done is he should have gracefully stepped aside and told the High Command, let the MLAs decide.
Aren't you putting too much onus on morality and graceful?
It is not about morality. It is about survival. Look, now Mr. Ashok Gehlot faces the very real possibility of losing both the Rajasthan Chief Minister's chair as well as not ending up as Congress president. He could go into the wilderness.
Hemant Attri, has Mr. Ashok Gehlot really overplayed this game? I mean, to defeat the trust of the Gandhi family or whatever it is, I think as a political observer, you shouldn't put all your stakes at one place. And more importantly, if this is such a big step which is happening for the Congress party, you would hedge your bets. You would be somewhere ready that, perhaps this problem can happen once again and I need to be ready for it. You can't be completely caught off guard at such an important juncture. Mr. Attri.
Precisely, Anusha, I fully agree with you. And after agreeing, I will add something more to it. See, Gandhi family had offered this Congress presidentship to Mr. Gehlot in 2019 only, once Rahul Gandhi stepped down. And he refused basically, and he always requested them that he would like to remain in Rajasthan politics. That's why he was, appointed as General Secretary organization, which is the second most important post in Congress hierarchy. He remained there, and the moment he got a chance, he basically slipped to serve as a chief minister in Rajasthan. Now, whatever has happened, there are two things about it. First, he has lost the personal confidence and faith of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, and she is very, very annoyed with him. Although, as per my sources, he has felt sorry before her on telephone also. He is trying to, use all those channels to send his apologies to all the Gandhi family, including RG and Priyanka Gandhi also. But the thing is, the way he has, misbehaved, this is kind of a misbehavior that he has done while being on such an important post and while being slated for the senior-most post of the Congress party.
But Mr. Attri, by that same logic, then Sachin Pilot should have also lost the trust of the Gandhi family. And I said this to Mr. Sumansi Raman as well, that are we placing too much onus on trust here instead of the real the real situations and scenarios which are driving today's politics, which is necessity, power, how much influence you have over MLAs, and can you really shake the system to your own benefit? That's what is happening in Congress party and in the state of Rajasthan.
Anushka, there is something more to it.
Okay.
See, a seasoned person like Ashok Gehlot, who has 45 years of experience with him, doesn't even want to become Congress president. See, this chief ministership for Rajasthan is only left with 14 months, and then there are elections. And while being a while being a nominee for Congress presidentship, creating such an atmosphere, creating such a scene, he has not only hit in his own leg, but in parties also. One has to understand that. And you please note it for all times to come that Mr. Gehlot is bound to lose both the posts. He will not be contesting Congress president for the Congress president, as well as he will not remain the chief minister also.
Okay,
And as you were
see.
rightly pointing out, you were saying Sachin Pilot.
Yeah.
Sachin Pilot has also lost the bus as far as this particular innings is concerned for next 14 months. I don't think Congress High Command will play such a big risk of making him a chief minister. I don't think some third person will be there who is acceptable to both of them.
All right, I'll come back on this trust factor within the grand old party. And when you have the veterans whose families have served for generations, worked for generations within the Congress party, exiting the party and exiting unceremoniously, has trust been thrown out of the window a long time ago within the Congress party, and not with one leader, with multiple leaders we have seen. I want to go to Varun Singh, who's also with us on the broadcast. Varun, your thoughts on what's happening within the Congress party, and will we be able to see some kind of electoral process, quote unquote, within the Congress party for the post of the president? More importantly, a non-Gandhi face leading the grand old party.
See, to be honest, I didn't know that the chief minister post was being sold so easily. How on earth can anyone say that Ashok Gehlot cannot be the CM? He has more than 92 MLAs with him right now. And till the last time I knew about the constitution, the CLP, that is the legislature party, will decide who their leader would be. They have given out their call. And who on earth wants to be a proxy president, leaving a chief minister post which gives you a lot more power? And Ashok Gehlot is an intelligent leader. He has realized one thing. See, in the coming days, there is so much of anti-incumbency that Rajasthan will be out of Congress's hand, and he doesn't want to be the scapegoat of being the president of a party which is losing a state that they were in power.
No, but he can already become a scapegoat if he doesn't come back to power. So he is prone to becoming a scapegoat if one were to believe your argument.
Absolutely. But then he would be the only scapegoat. Right now, if the Gandhis continue to be the president of the party, then the question about them, the responsibility will be divided. Everyone knows that Congress isn't coming back to power in Rajasthan. The way things have turned out, clearly anyone who has iota of political sense can tell you that. But more than this, such an intelligence failure on behalf of Sonia Gandhi and the entire Congress hierarchy and the leadership. The party which would be aware about what is happening in the state, what will happen in the future, what will happen in 10 years down the line, today doesn't even know what their MLAs are thinking or what will happen when they want to make a CM, remove a CM and make him the president, a proxy president.
Yeah.
No, they didn't even know the pulse of their own MLAs. That is an irony. That is a very sad state where Congress has reached right now. And it clearly shows that the Gandhis and all those people whom they have put their faith in and the trust are unaware about what is actually happening on ground.
Varun, you made a point that Mr. Ashok Gehlot does not want to be the president of the party. Because he doesn't want to be the scapegoat if the electoral losses for the Congress party continues in the round of next state election, assembly elections, including the state of Rajasthan. Mr. Raman, do you agree with that? And I open this question much beyond Ashok Gehlot as well. Different political leaders or any credible face within the Congress party who have stayed within the party for decades or have been loyalists, would they be wary of taking this position? And the fear is, twinfold. One, whether you'll actually have real powers or the office will run from 10 Janpath. And second, the party is in a disarray right now. It might take a very long time for it to be back on track.
Look, the reason that Mr. Ashok Gehlot doesn't want to occupy the chair is because he, in his mind, perhaps believes that he can still pull off a win in next year's election. Though I agree with all the panelists who said that it's going to be virtually impossible for the Congress to come back to power in Rajasthan. The point is, Mr. Gehlot feels that, that he still has another 12 to 13 months in office. So he would rather want the security of that rather than a completely unknown position as the Congress chief, where he could end up being a kind of a proxy. The point really is that his behavior day before yesterday was completely unacceptable. It was a breach of faith, and no party leadership will accept something like that. Here is somebody whom they put their trust in. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi personally
And
met
you can't even
Ashok
blame
Gehlot.
BJP for this. I mean,
No, there's nothing. There's
yeah,
nobody to
there's
blame for
nothing.
this.
There's
I
nobody
mean,
to blame for it.
this was brazen, and I think that the sad part is that the judgment of the Congress High Command has again found to be wanting, whether it is Mrs. Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi in this particular case. That is what is depressing from the Congress point of view. Now, if they do take disciplinary action against Ashok Gehlot, as was being spoken about yesterday, today again there's talk that there won't be any disciplinary action, and he has reached out and apologized and so on. But if they did take, then it would be virtually tantamount to pushing one more leader into the BJP's fold. Or out of the party, joining the list of Amrinder Singh, Ghulam
you
Nabi
must be
Azad
very
and so on.
glad listening to all the political analysts and observers saying that the Congress party is not coming back in Rajasthan, and if they push Ashok Gehlot too much, he might just join the BJP.
I think the BJP has made it very clear the Congress Mukt Bharat is what we have been working on, and I think we're inching closer to that. So I don't think that needs an explanation. But you were talking about the trust in the party, and I think Varun made a very prominent point saying that he would, Ashok Gehlot would rather hold the CM position than be a proxy president in a party that no longer exists. So trust only happens in a leadership which is strong. And this, I think, explains that one statement explains that there is no trust either in the party or the leadership. That for once, there is a non-Gandhi who is being coronated to be the next president. But nobody is interested in taking up that position. So I think that party men are themselves telling us what they think about the party. Then nobody else needs to go in and make any comment on any of those things.
Okay.
So,
okay, Mr. Hemant Attri, I want to give this discussion a rather constructive tone and talk about the future of the principal opposition party in this country, the future of the Congress party. More importantly, in a democracy, you have a very strong government, and I continue saying that opposition plays a very important role of checks and balances. In that spirit, the leadership crisis within the Congress party and the upcoming elections for the post of the president are going to be very, very critical. In your learned opinion, do you believe that this problem can still be handled, still be contained, or once again it's a mess that nobody can handle within the party?
Anisha ji, it's not limited to Rajasthan. It's with everywhere. In every state you go, the same kind of fiasco is playing out. Kerala, they were very well poised for making a government. And last 3 days, they lost it all. Same was the case in Assam. The same was the case in Uttarakhand. Same was the case in Goa. In Punjab, before Captain Amrinder Singh was removed that unceremoniously, the way he was, there was no competition in Punjab. The Congress party, basically, Congress leadership now, it is the people who they have appointed in the states as in charges or general secretaries. Basically, they are the first person who don't have any hold on the pulse of the political party they own and they are concerned with. Imagine what has happened under the Ajay Makan's garb in Rajasthan. He was told by 3 senior most leaders in Rajasthan that this is going to happen, and it was told to him 2 days back, once the CLP was yet to be slated, and still he was so overconfident from within that he took this miscalculated step. So the thing is, if Gandhis have to really survive, or the Congress party has to survive, first of all, they have to have the pulse of the people as well as their own cadres, number one. If you are looking at in the Kerala, they are getting good crowds. In Karnataka, they are also likely to be having good crowds. But what is the fun if their own party is breaking? How can you Jodo Bharat? Your own party is breaking. Then Gujarat election is coming. Many important elections are coming.
Taking off from that point, if in politics timing is everything, or in anything in life timing is everything, then for this entire Bharat Jodo Yatra, this timing in hindsight seems to be awful, not just as a principal notion that, don't overtake or, try to claim the glory of the Congress president elections. Why do you have a Bharat Jodo Yatra? Your party is in a crisis right now.
See, Anusha ji, this is poor planning actually. If at all he had to move for this kind of thing, he could have done it after Gujarat elections. Gujarat, as per my information, Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh are going to have simultaneous election with Karnataka. BJP from within They are planning to have an early poll in Karnataka. These are two of them are very big states and very critical states, Gujarat as well as Karnataka. Once Gujarat goes for election 2 months from now and Himachal, where will Mr. Rahul Gandhi?
Okay.
He will be in the yatra.
Okay. Varun, you had a point to make. Varun, you had a point to make. Please come in. Yeah.
I think it is high time the Congress hierarchy gets advisors who can actually sense things, what is happening. This was a very, very, very stupid thing to have a Bharat Jodo Yatra. You have already sent out a message that, listen, Rahul Gandhi has set out on a Bharat Jodo Yatra at the time when they are going to elect a new president. Couldn't it have been waited? Couldn't the new president have joined in? What kind of message have you sent out to the cadre? Even all those people who wanted to be part of the election, they have realized it now, and probably they know it better because they have been there in the Congress for a very long time, that immaterial who they are, what they are, it would be the Gandhis who would be the calling shots. And that this Bharat Jodo Yatra is happening at a time when we have so much of news. Look at the headlines they are making. I don't know who are the advisors. And as I said earlier also, the Congress hierarchy has lost touch and pulse. They cannot estimate what is happening with their own leaders and what is happening on the ground.
We seem to be having these discussions on national television about what the Congress party should do. And you and various other learned people would tell the Congress party that, look, you're not doing 2 plus 2. This is a miscalculation you're doing. Why do you think the Congress party has not been able to get its act together?
Look, I think there are multifactorial issues here. I don't think it's just one reason. Yeah. One of the reasons certainly is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has not been able to be a full-time president of the party when he was in the seat. And, his frequent overseas visits and disappearances from public life, I think that has been a major problem. The second, obviously, is that the Congress party is fighting against the electoral machine of the BJP, which functions very often in a no-holds-barred manner. Third, of course, the Congress party is also having to take on virtually every institution in the country, many of whom have been compromised significantly. So it's not an easy task, including the media, which day after day does stories about the crisis in the Congress party and how things are collapsing around it and so on. And makes that a self-fulfilling prophecy. Over a period of time, it becomes true when the media keeps saying every day that or finds something in Rahul Gandhi to criticize, but does not necessarily find anything to criticize in the government.
There is enough. It doesn't take too much to find.
Niti, make your point. Niti, make your point.
There is plenty to criticize about the government also.
And so, as and when there is opportunity, we do. I think that's unfair. I think it's unfair, sir. I think it's an unfair blanket statement. I mean, no, one second, Niti, one second. Mr. Raman, I can't make a blanket statement on the politicians of the country. A, B, C, D. No, sir, this is not about you and me getting into a personal debate. All I'm saying is that it's not fair. It's not fair to pass a blanket comment. It's not fair to pass a blanket comment.
How many debates have you done on the economy in the last 2 weeks? The rupee is now over 81 rupees.
So I think the economic crisis of the country, that story is a question that was asked to the finance minister as well when she was with us on a town hall yesterday. Niti, one second. Mr. Raman, please listen to me. As I close this debate. Yesterday, we had a conversation with the union finance minister of this country. And when she was sitting with a senior colleague, she was asked questions about the economy of this country. Thank you, Mr. Raman, for joining us on the broadcast. I'm sorry, I'm short of time. Mr. Varun Singh, Sumansi Raman, Niti Jain, Hemant Tatri, thank you all for joining us on the broadcast. Coming back to what we were really talking, we hope that the leadership crisis within the Congress party is resolved and they're finally able to find a leader who can lead the party in these critical times. With that, it's a wrap. Shivani joins you on the other side.